Today's matchup. Creator. Classic. Dark. Bunny. Round of 8. Group B.
Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2023 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to close today out in Protoss Civil War. Creator versus Classic. Who's going to go on to the round of 4? By the way, we are going to be keeping that golden ratio. You know, each of the 3 races in the top 4. You love to see it. And look, I'm actually happy with either of these guys advancing. I've always got a soft spot for Creator because if I could bare my soul here for a second, I always competed in a lot of StarCraft tournaments when I was younger and won almost none of them, right? Mm-hmm. And so I know that feeling to be grinding, to be trying to get better and better and not quite making it. Classic's been on top of the world. He's back. He's in great form. Yeah, I mean, these are 2 guys you can absolutely cheer on in this tournament.
And they both look to be just in incredible shape right now with the builds they're bringing out. Creator, even in PvP against Classic earlier, going for a cannon rush in game number 3 shows so much more confidence in his play than I've seen from him before, that it makes me wonder what he's going to come out with in this series, and should he advance to the round of 4, how he's going to play in it. There's just so much hope for both these guys, and it's going to be a great series.
All right, guys, let's get into it. The final series of the round of 8. Let's go.
Club NV Creator. Twisted Minds Classic.
So I'm just going to make a quick PSA here, because I know that there's people that watch the VODs or even watch live, and they don't really pay attention during the intermission or the start of the show. You can buy tickets to come to the finals. It is 5 p.m. a week from today. So next Thursday, tickets go on sale at 5 p.m. tomorrow on Friday. So I would highly recommend, if you're planning on coming, buy a ticket immediately. wait, what does it say?
PvP video,
PvP.
the old DVD
oh,
sign.
yeah, okay,
yeah.
I thought it was a DVD logo. I didn't get it at first. I like that side. So yeah, guys, buy a ticket. The tickets are likely to sell out. They've sold out every other time we've done it. I don't see why this time would be any different. It's going to be in this studio as well. If you've come to many GSL finals, you know we've got a couple studios all over Seoul. It's going to be in the same OG one that we're in here now. That's at Samsung Station by Exit 1.
Classic and Creator are both going for proxy techs.
Oh, yeah, look at these dirtbags. Both of these guys hiding.
Why did we want to put us in the top 4 again? Look at this scumbaggery that they're displaying here. I like the aggressive approach that both Classic and Creator were taking in their first series, and it doesn't surprise me that they're stepping it up here in game number 1 with proxies yet again. Now, what is this going to be? Will it be 3-gate Robo against 3-gate Robo, or
so when you have 2 people proxying each other, the game can get really weird. So it's proxy Stargate versus proxy Robo.
Okay. I wonder how this one's going to shape up. One of the things that often happens if you are the aggressor going for a proxy Robo is sometimes you don't focus enough on the defense back at home, and a really fast proxy Oracle in your main base can just completely shut you down. If there's no battery, if you only have 1 stalker instead of 2, enough probes can go down in a 1 base versus 1 base situation that it can straight up end the game. So have to keep a close eye on how Classic is going to navigate this game defensively against that Oracle, which he has not yet scouted, nor has Creator scouted the proxy Robo of his opponent. So both players playing with very limited information right now. All they really know is that it's 1 base versus 1 base.
Right. And 1 base can always be set up to eventually become a 2 base. This game, it's not.
It's a pretty smart setup here for Classic as well.
I really like this. So he might end up shading in at an unexpected moment.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you get 2 adepts in their base, and that's all you needed to do. You get so many worker kills.
Right, Creator going for the shades. Oh, he actually does get in the base. That's going to be several
Nice.
workers going down.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
Classic able to take down 2 at least. I imagine we should see 3 or 4 in total. Oh, the battery is going to be able to anchor this. But at the backside, look, the battery, how mirrored can you get?
Yeah.
I think Creator might be able to finesse 1 or 2 more probes with his shield battery. Of course, both the Oracle and the shield battery just in this kind of energy arms race.
Yeah. They both deplete. Things quiet down.
And now Creator is going to have to defend back at home. And I'm wondering how many gateway units he actually has. Oh, Warp Gate is not yet done. This is huge,
boy.
in fact. He only has 2 adepts. He cannot warp in sentries to hold this ramp. There's only 1 shield battery. Oh, I am suddenly very concerned for Creator's position. This might just be checkmate.
I mean, I don't know that you can recover from here. He's going to try to chrono this out. If he kills his pylon,
yeah,
well,
one of the gateways will immediately be unpowered. Now, there is a force field, and that's going to buy a little bit of time, so the gateway production will continue here for Creator. Able to avoid disaster as Classic did not push up the ramp just yet. Now he's going for it, though.
yeah, that force field's not tight.
Immortal about to pop here for Creator so we can start to fight back. One of these gateways will get unpowered. Meanwhile, the second Immortal coming in here for Classic.
Yeah, we've got the Adepts here on the outside. They're going to shade back in. If he can get this pylon, no more gateway production. That's it.
And not even the battery is powered anymore. The only production for Creator is this Robo and the Proxy Star getting across the map. So Classic is going to push up this ramp. He should be able to focus down that Immortal and barely survives. Workers getting pulled.
I think he's going to get it. There it is. That should be game. Game
Yeah.
1 is going to go to Classic. He's going to surround the Robo just as the Immortal's going to pop out. That's going to be killed off immediately as well.
Oh
There it
man,
is.
one more Chrono Boost on Warp Gate there for Creator might have been able to lead to a hole, but instead Classic with this very rapid push across the map that did not get scouted by Creator until it was basically knocking on his door. Is going to lead to a Classic victory here in map 1.
All right, GG, that's it. Classic takes game 1. In a
Explosive.
down and dirty PvP.
Explosive start to that series. I do think that if Warp Gate was finished in time there for Creator, which again, it's hard to get it done that fast when you're going for a more gas-intensive build with a Proxy Stargate. Of course, you're going to be chrono boosting out that Oracle as well. But if he was able to warp in, say, a Sentry and a Stalker and buy a little bit of time there for that first Immortal to get out, then maybe there is a world where Creator can hold that push. But instead, Classic, yeah, the build order advantage there. The shield battery was just in time, able to take map number 1, and now is 1 map win away from going to the semifinals.
Kind of a funny one. I mean, whenever you have 2 proxies, okay, now see, this is what we talked about at the start of the show. Now, Creator is the most emotional player, and you can see it's kicking in.
Yeah, he's been calm and collected up until this point, but for a player that's been in GSL for really almost the entirety of its existence here in Korea, and as you said, never really be able to make it to a championship, it's something that a lot of us can relate to. If we ever had aspirations of competing as a pro gamer and eventually winning a title, even a small one in a minor tournament, Creator is here again in the final GSL of the year. He's been able to work his way through a plethora of very difficult opponents. And now he is basically looking down the barrel of the gun, and that he is 1 map away from elimination. And he is in a must-win spot. He has to win both map 2 and map 3 if he wants to go to the round 4 and keep that dream of winning a championship alive. And we have seen in the past, once Creator starts to really feel that stress and that anxiety build up on stage and starts to get frustrated with the situation, he can crumble. And
he always crumbles, it seems.
It does seem that way.
And look, you know, a lot of players are emotional, right? I used to, like, every tournament that I would lose, I would cry when I was younger. I was like, it was just so stressful, right? But you have to learn how to overcome that, how to deal with it, how to, like, I'll use Scarlett as an example. She's always relaxed in a tournament setting. If she loses, like she beats tomorrow, okay, she's in a good mood, but then she gets limited, still in a good mood, unfazed. Where, you know, for other players, you can get to a point where, I mean, it's almost like a curse coming into the studio, the negative experiences you have when you lose a match. And By the way, Creator's using his break time right now, which is why we're on camera. But I hope he can get his head back in the game. You know,
yeah. It's a smart use of the break time right now.
Sure,
He recognizes the severity of the situation. He has to win these next 2 maps. He's probably very frustrated with the way that first game went. It was not a favorable build setup for him, and that's kind of the way that PvP can go sometimes.
Also, I think had he had just one more pylon below the 2 gateways, I think he might have actually gotten out enough. Maybe not.
I think it really comes back to just not having warp gate in time, because Classic's Immortal push actually hit so quick. It's a little bit faster than the typical kind of cheese you're going to face on the ladder, and as a result, Creator just did not have any time to get that defensive robo set up at home, and things fell apart from there. And PvP, in terms of matchups, in my opinion, for Protoss, just speaking from my experience as a player, it can be the most frustrating matchup, PvP.
Some mirror matchups, I mean, this is a thing that can happen. I mean, I think StarCraft 1, the mirror matchups are actually even a little bit worse in some of the problems that you get stuck in. Like ZVZ and StarCraft 1, very frustrating. You really can't get outside of Zergling and Mutalisk.
And even starting off that game, remember those 2 Adepts getting into the main base, that's not something that usually happens. So I'm sure Creator, it's not just the way that game ended, it's also the way that game started, where he made an uncharacteristic mistake. And
it was a tactic that then let the strategy win. The tactic was pulled off and killed some workers, and then here we are. Now, again, Creator, we can see him muttering to himself.
Yeah.
He is one of the players that talks to himself.
Sorry, excuse me.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say, not just when he's getting eliminated or in a tough situation, but also when he's winning sometimes.
But even when he's in line in the grocery store, he does it. All right, I get what you're saying, State. No, I mean, we're actually just going to start the game.
Club NV Creator.
He wants us so bad, man.
Twisted Minds Classic.
I get it, you know. At the last GSL of the year, it's going to be 2024 before he can come back in the studio if he's eliminated here tonight.
Classic is going for a low ground expansion.
Yeah.
I am surprised by this. Again, globally, the only Protoss player that I see pull this off successfully against top-tier opponents in PvP is Match5. He's been doing it for a very long time. When he started, there were a lot of losses that he suffered as a result of it, but over the course of what feels like a couple of years, he's been getting better and better and better at defending this low ground expansion. If you can do it, it's, in my opinion, the best way to play PvP.
Yeah.
Because it really simplifies the game. More often than not, you can just look at it from the perspective of, if I just defend my side of the map, I can win this with the momentum for my early expansion, especially if they commit into trying to stop me. And Creator is going to try and be about as aggressive as he could possibly get, and I actually don't know if he got a scout on the natural expansion. Do you perhaps catch that?
No, I don't think he did, but I think it doesn't matter because, I mean, this is, you just get there, you go, oh, even better, you know.
Right.
Okay, so he is going to scout him now, and this is a straight-up proxy gateway. Now, keep in mind, this is not a natural that has its own high ground. That's usually when we see fast expanse like this. So you don't have a whole lot to protect you. So the probe's going to see it, and you got to imagine Creator's going to be pretty pleased with this. Good hiding of the probe, by the way, from Classic. Just kind of creating some ambiguity about what's going on as the scout's going to come back down there and see the Nexus then.
Yeah, Stargate is the follow-up here for Classic. And usually Void Arrays plus Shield Batteries are going to be the linchpin of the defense here for the expanding Protoss player, but Classic, as of yet, has absolutely no idea that his pressure is underway, and it's not as if Creator is going to be waiting for just Warp Gate. He's actually building a Stalker the old-fashioned way, out of that proxy gateway very quickly, and so his pressure is going to hit a lot faster than I think Classic is expecting. And Classic, you even see that probe on the map. Is he going to find this? Okay, finally now he does.
He sees it. So now the cat's out of the bag. Creator knows or Classic, excuse me, knows what's coming. Creator's going to have to try to make this rush work. We already have the first Void Ray out. More batteries are going to come down, and Forge has started all the right steps here to stop this rush.
Yeah, Classic's going to be putting all these minerals into cannons and batteries to try and hold off here at the natural expansion. Well, a little bit of miss micro there by Creator. He might lose a Stalker as a result of that. In fact, he does.
And, you know, was it an overextension?
Yeah, man, Classic barely not overextending
Barely,
there.
yeah, not losing any hull the hit points there.
And any damage he can get done like this on the Stalkers, they are going to be slow to regenerate those shields. So it'll be an easy target for this Void Ray.
There's a way that the Void Ray can glide and keep doing damage. And just like that. And you get a couple kills like that, and that's enough to take the wind out of the sails of the rush.
Yeah, but once this Stalker count gets really high here for Creator, that's the dangerous moment. Once you can 2-shot or 3-shot the Void Rays, but there's already a second Void Ray on the map. These cannons, they're almost done. No blink is underway. Second Void Ray charges up, gets another Stalker kill. I think that's the third Stalker that's gone down.
All right, he's going to focus down some more Stalkers here. And the question is, can Creator get that critical mass? We now have the third cannon finishing.
All right, that Void Ray extending a little bit. It does get sniped down, so that's a big win here for Creator, but is it going to be enough? With battery overcharge and 3 cannons on the low ground.
Another Void Ray has been started. But, you know, if you can't break through this position, eventually, you know, the economy is going to kick in on that second base because, you know, you'll be able to make probes out of 2 Nexuses at once. A shade into the main, I really like this.
Yeah, it's a very smart play. Classic has been cutting his probe production completely to try and focus all his minerals on defending this expansion. So disrupting the mining here and getting 3 workers, ironically, actually has Creator at an economic lead now for this moment.
How
but
crazy is that?
the real situation right now, okay, Creator's expanding.
Yep.
I was going to say, we're at a point now in this game where I don't think Creator can bust down this door any longer. It's just not possible. And so Creator, he's doing the smart thing. He's transitioning out. Might even get another Void Ray here.
Oh, no!
Oh, so close. It's a painful loss. You can see Creator talking to himself, trying to work his way through this.
I think it was pretty genius when he sent the 2 Adepts in because you're right. Like, there is an actual worker lead right now for Creator. And he's still dancing outside the base here.
He wants to try and levy as much pressure as he can with the Stalkers that he has. Potentially try to feign pressure, and we have 2 more gateways coming in for Classic. I'm actually not sure if Warp Gate was completed. I assume that it was. Occasionally we will have players cut Warp Gate entirely just because the economy is so tight, trying to get Void Rays out and these cannons out, but you have to think that Warp Gate will be finished here, and yes, the Warp Gate is transforming in. And there's a very dangerous counter push that could be in the cards here for Classic. After this, I believe second Immortal pops, and he is warping in a Sentry, which means he might have more minerals or gateways. If he moves across the map with a Warp Prism after that second Immortal, it could be deadly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, this is also a bit of a gamble here. Creator is taking a gold mineral base with an Immortal out, sorry, 2 Immortals out. The juggling you could do with that Warp Prism and everything else could be huge.
Yeah, the Warp Prism has begun. And Blink Stalkers against Immortals and Void Rays do not trade very well, I have to say. It's a tough problem to solve with the unit set that Creator has right now, and this gold base, once Classic moves across the map, is only going to make things worse.
Now, let's not forget, we did see some clumsy control with the Warp Prism earlier from Classic. So that is one way that you can just stop any push from the Protoss.
Creator with his Hallucination Scout spots the extra 2 gateways. I think he's going to scout the natural expansion and know that this is a feigned third gas. Or at least I hope that he suspects it, because the push coming across the map from Creator, or from Classic, excuse me, is going to have so much firepower. 2 Immortals, 5 Sentries. There's a lot of force field here, and plus those Void Rays. When they're protected, they pack a lot of punch, but Blink is done here. Creator just doesn't have an angle to go for that Warp Prism.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried seeing Classic move out. His army was getting split in half there.
Yeah. More Stalkers getting warped in. Creator is also warping in. Shield batteries here, the natural expansion. A lot of the Sentry energy already being used by Classic.
Just going to let those force fields dissipate. The gold base is, you know, he's starting to get the fruits from the gold base.
Oh. Is he going to get the Warp Prism, man? That was scary. There's a window there where if Creator had vision. He could have sniped it.
All right, another big blink away. More sentries being made now.
Creator trying to micro back into the natural expansion. Blinks for it. Oh, you really wanted that Void Ray. Got all of the shields on 1 HP, basically. And Classic is actually going to pull off
This
a
is
transition.
wild.
He doesn't think he can kill him. Charge now starts for Classic. Oh, actually, he cancels it and goes into Blink, I believe. So a little bit of indecision here.
You know, you gotta check these gold bases. It's so common to sneak gold bases now.
Did he actually catch it when he moved his army towards
No,
the gold?
he did not see
barely
it.
didn't glimpse it?
No, he did not see it.
Okay, he's going to see the probes. He won't see the Nexus. Oh, he doesn't even see the probes.
Why
He
are you
only
not
sees the
looking
glimmer.
there?
Yeah, this is insane.
This is crazy. You've checked every base on the map except for that one.
How does he not know?
I can't believe this.
And these stalkers might actually catch this Phoenix if Creator's on top of his blinks, and indeed he is. So Creator able to keep Classic in the dark still. And Classic, with this transition, might think that he's actually ahead.
Yeah.
In an economic position, but in fact, Creator has been mining from that gold mineral base for really the past couple of minutes, and now is going up to a 4th expansion.
It's going to be a lot of zealots coming in here with all those extra gold minerals.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and just like you said, yeah, I mean, the 4th base coming now. You know, one of the more painful ways to lose is when you just didn't have the right information. You think you're ahead when you're literally behind.
Those games stick with you.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. And the composition that Creator is going to be working with coming in here, as you said, he's going to have a plethora of zealots warped in with all the minerals he's gathering. Think of the units that Classic was making that were so powerful. It was Immortals, it was Void Rays, it was Sentries. Those do not do particularly well against a swarm of zealots coming in from multiple angles. So I'm liking the way this is starting to shape up now for Creator. And considering the way this game has started, it is frankly miraculous that he's been able to spin it back into a situation where he basically has a chance to win at all, and in fact might just be ahead.
So, you know, this game quiets down. We're really getting into that macro phase here of the PvP. Now, you know, with the gold base being taken here and Creator hasn't attacked out yet, maybe this game normalizes.
It might, but I think it's more likely that with the gold base on Creator's side starting to mine out pretty soon, he's going to look for a timing attack, especially there is a high Vespene Geyser at that gold base as well.
Right.
So even though Creator's on 4 gases, it basically feels like 5. And actually, big link forward there by Classic. He underestimated the force that Creator had on the low ground. Some Zealots do get caught. Actually, fantastic Warp Prism micro there by Creator, able to save them. And these armies, Tasteless, they're getting ready to clash again.
They're going to wrap around over here now. And I think you could see, right, that, you know, Creator going to try to force this.
Oh, this angle is so good for Creator. The Void Rays get sniped down. That Immortal has to work its way all the way back. Archon even coming in here on the flank. Classic, he does have more army supply right now, but is it going to be enough? This army is a pretty good engagement here for Classic. There's 3 Immortals fighting against mostly Stalkers.
You know, he's hanging on. He's going to move forward here. These Immortals, they're paying out hugely. The Stalkers don't have many places to blink. He gets the Warp Prism. Was there an Immortal inside of that? No. Both Immortals are still on the outside.
Yeah, Creator's army really shines when he has the front line of Zealots to support these Blink Stalkers. Otherwise, the Immortals for Classic can get so much done. Both these armies basically whittled down here, but Classic losing the Warp Prism, he has to retreat.
Yeah, I mean, Classic's fine. The whole lead that Creator built up to, it's pretty much equalized now. They both have the gold base. In fact, Creator's gold base is going to mine out earlier. And on the other hand, you know, here from Classic, I mean, he's completely stabilized. There's plenty of bases, by the way, on the map to expand to and try to take.
Yeah, that was about as good an engagement as you can possibly get there for Classic. There was a long period of time where he was fighting with Stalkers and Immortals against basically pure Stalkers, and Creator, he needed Zealots and Archons to really tank to be able to survive in that situation. Looking at the upgrades, +3 for Classic is basically timed out with +2 for Creator. So Creator is going to have a lack of upgrades for the foreseeable future here.
A lot of times when you see these mass Zealot Stalker armies, they're really intended to clobber the other player and kind of, you know, flatten their position, and then you kind of overrun them. But to see Classic survive and continue to tech into a more sophisticated army is pretty exciting.
Creator is trying a transition right now.
Yeah.
To Robo with a robotic spay. He's taken a lot of extra gases, and there's a reason that a lot of people don't do this in the current PvP meta in Korea, because the pure gateway man style that we're going to see out of Classic. Right now he has 25 Zealots to the 14 of Creator. That is only going to widen over the next couple of minutes, and as a result, Classic will max very quickly, and I don't think Creator is going to have enough time to get these key robotics units out to actually be able to hold on, and Classic, he's already starting to move out across the map. This next warp in will max him.
Yeah. Classic's going to keep trying to advance his position. In the bottom, there's 2 possible bases that could be pushed into. Blink in. Every time Creator gets close, he realizes he has to back off.
Disruptors nearly complete here for Creator. I feel like he almost has to sacrifice a base.
I think you're right.
To wait until he has 3 or 4 disruptors. You can see the
the
Stalker
warp
splintering
prism!
off. He's going for the Prism.
Okay, he kills the base. The disruptors are out. They're still kind of far away. I guess one's actually a little bit closer here.
Okay, he needs a big hit. Is he going to get it? That's a massive one. About as good as he could possibly get there for Creator. Will it be enough, though?
That was sick.
The Stalker is coming in on the flanking side. More Zealots warping in there for the front. Disruptor, kind of a weak connection there with just one Immortal, but Creator's been able to deal with the majority of this army. That shot was so massive, Tasteless.
It was pretty crazy. The Stalkers are going to come in here on the side. They're going to be dueling it out with these Immortals.
They should be able to actually get the Warp Prism after they clean up the Immortals, too. And Classic is starting to overextend this one. The armies are equalizing. Oh, another huge hit. 4 more Stalkers go down. Creator somehow, with a miraculous Disruptor hit, just saved his position in this game.
That was crazy. We saw the army of Classic go all the way up through the bottom, get pulled in towards the natural, and ultimately destroyed.
I have seen this story play out hundreds of times in my ladder games and other Protoss players' games, where this gateway style clashes against the robotic space style and is able to hit a timing like Classic goes for and just completely floors the RoboBay player. But Creator had some of the smartest positioning. I can't believe he's able to win that fight, and now he's levying all this pressure here on the gold base of Classic. Disruptors once again joining the fray, able to pick up a Zealot with that shot. Blink is on cooldown. More probes going down. Creator with a 60 supply lead. And I honestly cannot believe he's been able to wiggle out of this position. Tremendous game thus far, but Classic, he's fighting on.
Yeah, he's going to keep trying. Although I'm worried this might just be too much here. I think Creator is very close to closing this game out, especially with this next Disruptor shot. Whoa.
That shot was massive. Now the Warpins are absolutely favoring Classic here, so eventually he will have a better trade. There is a Dark Shrine in production here for the Red Protoss player, so Creator is going to have to be able to have defenses ready for it. This shot still connects with 3 Stalkers. I think Classic might have mismicroed that one a little bit there as the Zealot reinforcements come in, and suddenly that Disruptor shot allows so much more pressure to come in.
Look, there's something happening in the main for Creator. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I think it's a Zealot warp in.
Yeah.
DTs
DTs.
too. Creator, he does have 3 observers on the map. One of them is here with the army. In fact, 2 of them are. Maybe even 3. I think it might be up-2ing this a little bit in such a chaotic situation.
Wait a minute. He can actually kill the Robo. Hold on a second.
Starting to think back to Classic versus Hero Game 3, man.
Yeah. I'm just like, wait a minute. Don't count this out just yet.
Creator is sustaining a lot of damage back at home.
And he's going to unpower this. The worker count right now is still higher for Creator, but that could change very quickly.
The more pressing issue is that there is no production really coming in. Okay, recall comes through. There should be an observer with this recall, and in fact there is.
Right over that.
But it's not a lot of Stalkers actually getting warped in. These DTs, they can fight.
DTs are, they can actually just pin these Stalkers. Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Oh, Creator.
This is an insane situation right now. All right, so the only mining base, the only full mining base for Classic is taking a lot of damage. Cannons are getting warped in here, both at the gold and this base, but there's so many DTs, they can just focus down the pylon or the battery here. He's gonna go for the pylon. That battery overcharge out of the equation.
Okay, so hold on. There were 40 workers. That number's dropping very quickly. More warp-ins come.
I think Creator needs to find a way to get a pylon back in his main base. He needs to power up his production.
By the way, these cannons that were made at the start of the game are like very, very handy in his base trade because it's not efficient to try to trade into it.
Creator has no production. Creator has no production back at home right now.
He's sitting on 800 minerals. If he can get a probe, he doesn't have many of them left, by the way, up there and make a pylon, that's one thing, but he needs to start that. Okay, he does do that.
Yes, he finally got a pylon up in the main base. These 4 Stalkers will be able to repel that 1 DT. If Creator can spend his full bank and join his forces here on the right side of the map and in the main, he has a chance. Disruptor coming for the connection, doesn't connect.
It's going to be hit from both sides here.
Oh, this is an insane situation. Classic 1 map win away from a ticket to the semifinals. Creator fighting for his Codes life.
Okay, he's going to go for the Disruptor, and he gets the kill.
Oh, Creator only at 25 army supply. There's no minerals left in the bank. He has 11 probes. Classic somehow with DTs the same way that he was able to defeat Hero in the round of 16. He is defeating Creator in the round of 8. I can't believe it.
Yeah, you can see he's still trying, but it looks like mathematically it's just not there.
The army supply is doubled right now for Classic. I can't believe this.
I can't believe this. Creator is going to be really tilted by this. This looked like a game he had. Okay, there are still a few mineral patches left over there, so he can still mine, as are there at the Natural. A game that had ballooned out on both sides, split map, is shrank back down.
Recall coming in the Natural expansion. It's all the Stalkers, but the standing army for Classic is too great.
And now he's in control on the low ground.
Yeah, Creator has to retreat to the main base, and with a look on his face,
saw him. Yeah, he leaned back in the chair.
That's it.
He's out.
Classic pulls the rabbit out of the hat again in Codes.
He pulled many rabbits out of many hats.
Wow.
And so this is the death rattle here of Creator. There's no way to recover. What a crazy series. I mean, the only way this series could have been better is if we got a game 3, but GG, man.
I can't believe that Classic was able to come back here in game 2 against Creator in the same way he came back against Hero in the round of 16. It's just unbelievable. The position for Creator was so strong. He even had 3 observers out on the map, but the Wart Prism in the main base with Zealots and DTs, despite the fact that Creator had so many more probes, he had no production for such a duration that Classic was able to consolidate everything, and you could see Creator is devastated. He knew he had that game in the bag.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
Kudos to Classic. He's played some great games today. I'm very excited to see what he's going to do in the round of 4. And we get a Protoss in the round of 4, by the way. Very exciting. We're going to go to the interview now.
김도우 선수 인간 승리 너무 축하드립니다. 이번 연도 처음으로
Finally, we have a Protoss in the semifinals. Congratulations, he says thank you.
네. 정말 오랜만에 GSL 4강에 가게 되어가지고 너무 기쁘고.
So I made it to the semifinals for the first time in a while. I feel very happy.
힘들었던 경기. 정말 어려운 경기도 끝까지 포기하지 않고 대역전극을 만들면서
So that was a very tough series, but you didn't give up all the way to the very end. Not just the last game, but all the games. You were very tenacious. We didn't know who's going to win until the very end. Tell us about that and what motivates you. Excuse me.
부담을 많이 가지고 했었는데 이번 시즌은 좀 제 실력을
Whenever I play in GSL, I always feel a lot of pressure.
마인드로 왔어요. 그러니까 좀 더
So this time I tried to focus on enjoying the experience more and just not worry so much about my pressure. And I did find if I kind of emptied my mind, it worked better. You emptied your mind, but you also produced all those tempests and destroyed your opponent. Can you tell us about that? So I had to go to my military training a couple days ago, and I didn't really have a lot of time to. Oh, I didn't have to have much to do while I was working, so I was just watching a lot of VODs.
네, 좋았어요.
그러면
So-
매주 다녀야 되겠는데요?
I started getting all these ideas from just watching other StarCraft games, and I thought, well, this idea works really well. And then the caster saying, wait, you went to the military training, you watched StarCraft VODs all day? And that's what you did? They're basically making fun of him.
자, 상대가 좀 테란이거든요. 어떠세요? 충분히 해볼 만한 싸움이라고 생각하세요?
So your opponent
충분히 할
was...
만한데 이제 상대 선수도
Your
진짜
opponent's
뭐 할지
Gumiho. How do you feel about him?
모르가지고, 되게 재밌을 것 같아요, 경기는.
네.
When it comes to builds, it does seem like Gumiho has a really huge range of different styles of play. So it's going to be hard to predict how he's going to, how he'll play and how to prep for it.
오늘도 보면 저그전도 그렇고 프로토스전도 그렇고 정말 계속해서 새로운 빌드, 새로운 시도 여러 가지
That's right. He's a player who's known for being extremely creative.
우간 빌드 같은 경우에는 명상으로 만들어졌다 했는데 그 외에도
So maybe he'll have the upper hand.
프로토스 빌드조차도 그렇게 명상으로 만들어졌을까요?
아니요, 보통은 이제 저 혼자 연습을 하면서 빌드를 많이 만들고요.
You said you learned a lot from the
이번에
VODs,
고병재 선수랑 할 때는 좀 더 연습을 많이 해야 될 것 같아요.
especially in
되게,
PvP.
상대도 준비를 많이 해올 것 같아가지고.
Are you going to prep for
이번에는
PvT just like you did
영상뿐만
for these PvP
아니라 많이
games?
해서 더
I think I need to do more than that.
찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다.
야, 진짜 그래 오늘.
I'm going to have to focus also on my execution, so I'm going to have to clean that up as well.
건강면 지켜냈으면 내가 올라가는 거 아니야? 막 그런 느낌 받았을 것 같은데 그 경기를 졌어요. 그때.
이 세트는 무조건 이겼다고 생각했는데 이제 불멸자랑 전투를 하기
You had a
전에
really,
갑자기 헤드셋이 내려가지고
crazy series against Dark.
네, 되게
외부 이슈.
네, 순간 PP를 걸까 말까 고민하다가 이제 그냥
No, he's basically asking about facing Dark in the future. He says I need to make it through the semifinals first.
컨트롤에 집중을 못 해가지고
I thought I was ahead of him in several of those games. I was almost overly excited during those games. I guess he said he also had some issue with his headset.
사실 그 경기 지고 좀 멘탈이 살짝 흔들리긴 했어요. 그래서
그럼
I think I was a little bit too greedy when I tried to go to his base and finish the game.
지역 쪽에 분열기 대박 터지면서 그 병력이 막혔을 때 사실 김도우도 이 경기는 졌다 생각했을 것 같거든요. 어느 시점에 역전을 좀 예상했고
The last matchup against Creator.
또 사실 이제 분광기만
Creator got a lot of damage off of those disruptors. It looked like you were in hot water. We thought that the game had been flipped and Creator was going to win. Can you tell us about that?
사실 그냥 졌다라고 생각을 했는데 저번에 준호랑 할 때도 그렇고
I was caught off guard when I saw the disruptors.
역전할 때
I didn't know he had them at all.
좋은 유닛인 것 같아가지고 이번에도
When I had my match against Hero,
되게 잘 통했던 것 같아요.
야, 진짜.
I had an idea about DTs. And so in that moment I thought, oh, maybe there's an opportunity for me to win with DTs, so I made the Dark Shrine, and that saved my ass.
매번 응원해주셔가지고 너무
Verbatim.
감사드리고, 정말
Anything you want to say to the
오랜만에
fans?
올라오게 됐는데,
I'm very grateful
준비해가지고 진짜
for everybody who's been supporting me and who's been there for me.
감사합니다.
And I'm very, very happy to be in the semifinals. I hope you guys watch and enjoy. And I'm going to show a better performance, so please keep supporting me. Cool!
Wow. All right, so Classic and Advanced over Creator. We will have a Protoss in the top 4. And really, what a solid top 4 that we had. And what a great day of GSL. I think this is my favorite day of the entire year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is the best day. We had so many good games.
Every series had something special.
Yeah, look, not all series are made equally, and some, frankly, can be very forgettable. Today was amazing.
Yeah, I can't. I'm looking at every single one of these series, and the games that were played were so good time and time and time again. I feel like it was the most creative expression of builds, not just from one race, but from all players that we've seen in a long time.
So here's our semifinals. Gumiho versus Classic, then Dark versus Solar, and of course the grand finals is going to be played that night. So come early or come late, but no matter what you do, get a ticket. You have to get a ticket. You cannot get in without a ticket. Every finals, we have people stuck outside.
Yeah,
don't be stuck outside.
The tickets, they go on sale tomorrow at 5 p.m. KST, so try to get them on your phone as soon as you can.
And I would say they're going to sell out in literally minutes. So yeah, do get a ticket, guys.
The show, of course, also will be starting a little bit earlier.
That's
because
right,
we
start
have
at 5 p.m.
the semifinals and the finals to get through.
So
and Gumiho versus Classic, Dark versus Solar. It's going to be such an entertaining day of matches.
No matter how, no matter who gets in the finals, either a TVZ or a PVZ, And I think we can get behind either of those, man.
Absolutely.
We already went over all this ticket information, but it's here in case you're deaf.
Yeah, follow.
You can just look at
Follow
that.
that
And
link.
in that case, you can't hear
We
what
get
I'm
it.
saying, so haha, I'm also making fun of you.
We hire like an ASL, like an interpreter
That's
over
right.
here.
We need a little bubble at the corner of the screen with a sign language guy.
But yeah, get here as soon as you can. Make sure you buy those tickets as soon as you possibly can. I doubt you will be able to get them at the door. And yeah, same place as always. Same place we had the GSL this entire, well, not in the entire year, but this entire season. The Classic Studio by Samsung Station
The
outside
OG
Exit 1.
I guess it's not truly the OG GSL studio. That was closed down. But this studio, you've probably seen almost all the GSLs in. The one that we're in here. Yeah, what a great day of games.
Yeah, that was so much fun, and I feel like I'm really happy with the top 4 that we have, too. Guaranteed a non-mirror final, going to be a TBZ or a PBZ. We're going to see either Gumiho or Classic in the finals, which is so much fun. Solar looks to be in the best form of his life.
And
Dark
he has not been in a Final Four in 10 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
It's a decade of trying over and over again at the same thing. Finally, he's gotten deeper.
And he also drew Dark, and let's not forget that Solar has the best ZBZ in the world right now. So we might have a real underdog story coming into the final day.
That's true. Classic back in action, looking like the best Protoss there is in Korea right now. And Gumiho, I mean, this guy has had such inspirational play. It's been so cool to see him.
Proxying battle cruisers and TBTs earlier on in this GSL.
There's also a world where Dark just wins, and we're like, oh, yeah, of course. Okay, yeah. He was the favorite after Maro, and Maro is gone, and he's still here. So
yeah, we were thinking it was either going to be Dark or Cure after Maro got eliminated, and Dark still has a chance to make that happen.
But if he doesn't, what a crazy GSL that will be.
Yeah, it really has been the season of upsets.
Yeah.
From the round of 16 with Maro getting knocked out first in Group A to the round of 8 with Cure getting knocked out first in Group A, I believe. It's just been a wild ride here.
They're just still talking over there, man. We've wrapped everything up.
Yeah.
This has been my last 12 years. It's just, you know.
Wait.
We have more viewers than you guys over there, but we still don't get to close the show out in time.
Yeah, guys, reminder again, tickets go on sale 5 p.m. tomorrow, KST. Get them as soon as you can.
Yes.
And we are starting earlier.
We can close now, guys. Bye-bye. We'll see you in the finals.